What's going on YouTube? Zapp here, and as you can see by the title of the video, this is the Zapp Talks series. This is a series in which I answer many of you guys' questions in a video format. I'm not going to do just this boring format where I sit in front of the camera. I guess I'll throw some gameplay up in the background. That's much better. And yeah, we'll go ahead and rock from here. I'm going to answer some of these questions. I don't have them written down or anything like that. I'm just going to be reading them from the comment section from YouTube because that's where I got most of the questions from. And if you asked a question and I didn't get a chance to answer it this time around, feel free to ask it again in the comment section of this video, or ask me on Twitter, and maybe I'll get around to answering it in the next episode of Zapp Talks. So without any further hesitation, I almost said hesido, but fuck it, without any hesido, let's go ahead and get into some of these questions here. Slide to the Fox wants to know, do I watch any anime / TV shows? I don't know if you mean like anime TV shows, or do I watch any anime or TV shows like separately? But as far as anime goes, I do not watch anime. The last animes that I did watch, I watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I did watch Yu Yu Hakusho from start to finish, and I watched Inuyasha. That was the last anime that I watched. I did enjoy Trigun, but other than that, I did not watch anime. I wasn't a fan of Dragon Ball Z. I wasn't a fan of anything else. I wasn't a fan of Gundam. I did watch Ronin Warriors when I was a little kid, here and there, and yeah, I ain't even afraid to admit it. I watched Sailor Moon when I was little too. Man, Sailor Moon went hard, son. Fuck it. But other than that, I'm not really too big on anime. Just a real casual anime person, but for the most part, I think it sucks. For various reasons we're not going to get into today. But these days, as far as TV goes, the only show I watch on TV on a regular basis, like religiously, is The Walking Dead. Other than that, I don't really watch TV. I guess I watch WWE every once in a while, but I'm not really watching it religiously like I used to. But I watch WWE and The Walking Dead. Those are my main sources of entertainment on the television. This one comes from Shadow Sneaker 105. He says, would you consider playing Dead or Alive again? If not, why? I would love to play Dead or Alive, but I'm probably going to reserve my playing of that franchise until the next installment. I just don't see myself going back to play DOA 5 again, or any of the previous Dead or Alive games. I think at this point I'm pretty much out of the loop as far as DOA goes, and I don't know, man. I just think I'll just wait for the next one. That's all I gotta say. But I love Dead or Alive. It's probably my favorite 3D fighting game franchise, and that's primarily because that's really the only 3D fighting game that I'm semi-decent at. So, I don't know. DOA 6, definitely, but DOA 5, no. This one comes from Bionic Barbie. Dear Lord. If Sony created a series kind of like Gears, would I buy it? No. The reason being is I don't think that there's any other game that can truly capture what the original Gears franchise games did, Gears 1 and 2. So if anybody, and it doesn't have to be Sony, it can be Nintendo, it can be some, indie developer, it can be anybody out there. If you're trying to recapture or remodel a game around the Gears of War mechanics, or try to replicate anything that Gears of War has ever done, it's gonna fail miserably, okay? And just because it's Sony that's doing it wouldn't make me want to buy it even more. People seem to have this weird conception that, if Sony did this, then Zappa would be all on board with it, but because it's Microsoft, Zappa wants no part of it. No, I'm not a Sony fanboy, and I'm not necessarily anti-Microsoft. I'm just pro, good games, I'm pro good franchises, and I'm pro new IPs, and unfortunately that's what Sony's bringing right now. So if Sony, just to answer your question, if Sony brought out a game similar to Gears of War, no, I would not buy it. If I wanted to play Gears of War, I would just play Gears of War. Simple as that. Papa Docs wants to know if I've ever smoked bud. No, I've never smoked marijuana, and I will never smoke marijuana. Marijuana is for losers, weed's for losers. Point blank, period. what are the games that you're really looking forward to this year? The only game that I'm anticipating is, I mean, aside from Infamous Second Son, is The Order 1886. But other than that, every other game is just kind of like, we'll see, you know. But from what I'm understanding, The Order got pushed back or got delayed till like next year or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, just The Order and Infamous Second Son so far. Other games could be announced at E3, but we'll see how things go. This one comes from Gilbert Hernandez. He wants to know which MK character. He has two questions actually. He wants to know which MK character in the whole series did I find the most interesting and why. So to answer that first question, the character that I found the most interesting in the entire Mortal Kombat series has definitely been Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung is just the complete contrast to Shao Kahn. Yes, he's evil. Yes, he wants to take over Earthrealm and combine it with Outworld and all that stuff. But when you look at Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn and their mannerisms, the way they conduct themselves, the way they go about, handling business, Shang Tsung is all about deceit, lies, treachery, just duping people to get what he wants. Sort of like how Dr. Robotnik tricks Knuckles all the time into attacking Sonic, So Shang Tsung is a little bit more of a slimy, slithery type of guy, whereas Shang Tsung is all about, I want power, use brute force, blah, 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 we'll take it from them. And Shang Tsung's like, nah, man, let's use everybody else around us as pawns so that we can get what we want. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you look at Shang Tsung, you can look at Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn's like this big barbarian type of guy, and Shang Tsung's got the ponytail, the nice goatee. He dresses wearing like gold-plated armor. He just dresses and looks a lot nicer than Shao Kahn as far as villains go, But if there was any villain within the Mortal Kombat universe that I would say had the most swag to him, I say Quan Chi got that on lock. But as far as the overall character himself, Shang Tsung definitely caught my attention the most, and he's my favorite MK character of all time. And his second question is, what is the definition of a good game to me? My definition of a good game is a game that has everything, good storytelling in the campaign mode, great gameplay, beautiful graphics. And people want to say that graphics don't matter, but let's not lie to ourselves. Graphics do matter. It's 2014 now. Nobody wants to play a game that looks like it's from the freaking, PS1 era back of like 1995. No, that's not gonna fly with you. So don't even give me that crap about it's all about the gameplay. Don't even do that. But good graphics, good gameplay, good storytelling. And if the game has multiplayer, then the multiplayer has to reflect the good gameplay of the single player while maintaining a balance in a competitive multiplayer setting. So yes, it has to have everything, it can't be missing any of those features. So yeah, that's my perception of a good game. KHG Kaiser Hayes Gaming asks, yo Zapp, what are your thoughts of the next generation consoles? Also, have any games being released in the future have caught your attention? Well, I've already answered the second question, but what are my thoughts on the next gen consoles? Right now, the next gen consoles are in a little bit of a dry spell, which is to be expected. With every next gen release, you kind of get put into this position where you brought the console on launch and there are no games out to play for it. Well, luckily, PlayStation Network has been providing us with some games every month to play for free. So I'm still playing my PS3, and I'm also playing some games on my PS4. Right now I'm playing Outlast, and I'll probably have a couple videos up of Outlast for you guys pretty soon. If not, they're already up already. But yeah, right now my PS4, I do have something to play on it with Outlast coming out now, and March is right around the corner, so I'll have some other games to look forward to playing. But yeah, right now both next gen consoles are kind of like, there's nothing to play on them, and The Xbox One is definitely getting a lot of negative feedback and a lot of negative press by not being able to support both 1080p native resolution as well as 60 frames per second on their games, and a lot of their first-party titles can barely hold up a solid frame rate, as well as high-end graphics that should be expected of a next-gen or current-gen nowadays console. So, yeah, I think both consoles have their flaws, but I think right now the Xbox One is probably in the bigger shithole, just because it's having so many other technical issues going along with it. But I guess there are going to be updates coming out later for the system that grant it the ability to perform at the level that the PS4 has been able to perform as of now. So right now I think both consoles are kind of like meh, but the PS4 has a little bit of a leg up on the Xbox One. Keenan Steele wants to know, when and why did I start my YouTube channel? I started my very first YouTube channel back in 2008. My first gameplays on that YouTube page were Guilty Gear 2 Overture playthrough, the very first English Guilty Gear 2 Overture, because the rest of them were in Japanese. And then I started uploading Gears of War to that page. And then in 2010, I shut down that first page, just completely shut it down, and started this one up. So this page has been going since 2010. And I started it because mainly I felt like I was a better multiplayer gamer and a better commentator than a lot of people who were uploading YouTube videos at the time. So yeah, let's answer a couple more here. If you had the opportunity, would you do YouTube as a full-time job? Why or why not? If I had the opportunity to do YouTube as a full-time job, I would, but only up to a certain point. My interests are of other things. I'll be open and honest with you guys. Since I was little, I've always wanted to be a professional wrestler because I like the ability of traveling to new places, meeting new people, as well as, you know, doing the acting, as well as showing off athleticism in a ring. You know, just being an overall performer. And I think wrestling allows you to be an overall performer. So I would do the YouTube thing, right, until I got my feet off the ground and I was doing my wrestling thing. Then the whole YouTube thing would just become a hobby, which is what it is for me right now. So, but yeah, if someone granted me the opportunity to do YouTube full time, I would. This one comes from Funkle Philps. He says, if you could make a game with a big budget and a AAA team behind you, what game would it be? He has a bunch of questions, but I'm gonna just answer that first one. If I could make a game and have a big budget behind me as well as a AAA studio, I would probably make some sort of survival horror game. Outlast has opened my eyes and let me see that survival horror can make a comeback if you just bare bones it. And the thing about Outlast that makes it so petrifying to play is the fact that you have no guns, you cannot fight back, and the only way that you can get through this entire game is with your flashlight, or not flashlight, but with your night vision and your camera, you know. And obviously with cameras you have to recharge your batteries or get new batteries, stuff like that. So just these bare bones mechanics, the things that are just very, very simplistic, make the game so much more enjoyable to play. So yeah, absolutely I would make a survival horror game, because I think the survival horror genre is pretty stale at the moment. You don't really see too many legit survival horror games. But Outlast definitely opened my eyes and let me see that the games can be absolutely petrifying to play if you just take into account the fact that you don't need to add a bunch of stuff to make it scary. Just atmosphere and bare bonesing. Pretty much. Thank you guys for watching this edition of the Zapp Talks episode. If you have any more questions that you would like for me to answer, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.